My travels have taken me to haunting places around the globe, though I found that some spots are chilling not because of who lives there, but because no one lives there at all. Imagine for a moment a post-apocalyptic world. Once bustling cities, silent. Skyscrapers, crumbling. Entire populations reduced to nothing. In southwestern Japan, there's a place just like this. An island that's been lost to time. It's early morning at the Nagasaki docks as two men board a small boat that will take them 11 miles offshore. Their destination? Hashima Island. Minoru Kinoshita lived on the island until the age of 12, and this could be his final visit to his boyhood home. Hashima was once a coal mining boomtown, but it is now a haunting ruin. Also called Battleship Island, because, well, look at it. With the buildings collapsing in on themselves, access to the island is getting harder, and soon it might be closed for good.
Wow, it's incredible.
Kinoshita grew up in Hashima in its heyday, the 1950s. At the time here in Japan, coal was king, and the waters surrounding the island were full of it. The Mitsubishi Corporation began mining in the late 1800s, and in the ensuing decades built Hashima into a thriving city. But in 1974, the island was suddenly abandoned and designated off-limits. 35 years later, authorities began allowing limited access to visitors. But now, the buildings are on the verge of collapse, so Taro and Kinoshita will have to be extra careful. I've arranged access for Taro and Kinoshita to see areas of the island that are dangerous and therefore restricted to visitors. Kinoshita is eager to revisit the spots that mean the most to him and ultimately say farewell. Kinoshita points out the hospital where he was born and the school where he and hundreds of other students crammed into tiny classrooms. And then they arrive at Block 65, his childhood home.
The moment I step here, I remember being in the courtyard and my mother calling from the balconies above. All the memories of growing up here come back.
But not all of those memories are fond. Kinoshita is also haunted by flashbacks of his father, his days working in the coal mine, and having to abandon the only home he ever knew. Kinoshita grew up here in the 1950s, at a time when this island was producing 400,000 tons of coal a year. 6,000 people were packed inside 16 acres, making Hashima the most densely populated place on Earth.
As a kid, not all your memories were good.
My father was a miner, and I remember hearing sirens go off, which can only mean an accident. I would rush to the window, hoping he was not among the miners who have gotten hurt or worse. I am lucky he never was. To this day, the sound of those sirens still haunts me.
But the danger of coal mining isn't the darkest shadow on Hashima's history. Between the 1930s and the end of World War II, hundreds of laborers and POWs were brought here, forced to work the mines, often under inhumane conditions. They finally reached the site that Kinoshita wants to show Taro most. It was called the Stairway to Hell by many locals who dreaded the steep climb. But it was beloved by the children for offering something that the rest of the island lacked.
This island was once called the Island Without Green, but this was the one place where you could see soil. I loved coming here thinking about what could grow from it.
But not much ever did. By 1974, the island's coal reserves were depleted. Without any natural resources left to plunder, Hashima was evacuated. Kinoshita places an offering on the handrail, a symbol of his memories here. And there's one last thing he wants to do before leaving.
I hope life returns to this island, and perhaps I can have some hand in that.
Kinoshita plants the seeds of a Japanese evergreen, which might one day transform this island's legacy from a symbol of death and decay to a place where life can spring anew. And while Hashima crumbles, the nation of Japan continues to thrive. Perhaps the same can be said for another world power, located 5,600 miles to the west. When most people think of Germany, they think of the Autobahn, bratwurst, or, world wars. Me? I think, rather fondly I might add, of all the time I've spent there in the past conducting, research at Munich's legendary beer gardens, home of the original Oktoberfest. It's drunken Christmas! Okay, here we go! Here we go! Prost! Whew, I am still hungover from that trip. But it's not just the epic beer gardens that intrigue me about this city. If you happen to be in Munich in December, the town square of Marienplatz transforms into one of the world's most spectacular Christmas markets. Crazy giant tree, check. Endless stalls of non-Weight Watchers approved delicacies, check. And the ultimate reason that this place makes my list of legendary locations? Well, it turns out Santa's not the only one coming to this town.
I've been coming to this Christmas market since I was a little kid.
This Christmas market is the biggest market in Germany, yes.
But when the sun starts to set on all this holiday revelry, a distinct chill fills the air. And it's not Old Man Winter, it's Krampus. A half-man, half-goat goblin who, according to German folklore, serves as St. Nick's enforcer. So if you're a kid who's been naughty instead of nice, you had better indeed watch out. Krampus's roots date back to pre-Germanic paganism. His name comes from the German Krampen, which means claw. The Krampusschlaf, or Krampus Run, was a popular holiday tradition well into the 20th century, until the rise of fascism attempted to cramp Krampus's style.
My grandmother told me in the 30s and 40s the government banned Krampus.
But as the old saying goes, you can't keep a child-torturing half-man, half-goat down. Something like that. Today, the Marienplatz Christmas Market is home to the largest Krampus run in the world, where 300 people don frightening fur and menacing masks that transform them from man to beast.
18 years ago, we had the idea, hey, let's make a Krampus run in Munich. We did it year after year and after year. The people loved it more and more and more and more, and now we have so many people on the run. It's amazing.
I'm Danny, this is Manfred, and this is Maximilian. He's the youngest Krampus I've seen here. We used to be scared of Krampus when we were kids. But now, as adults, we get the last laugh.